So, thanks to AI, it's now possible to catch every mistake in your work before anyone else ever sees it, but only if you know how to actually use it the right way. Most people spend hours making something and then send it in the 10 seconds it takes to click a button. I used to do that too. So, in this video, I'll show you the quick pass I now run before anything goes out. I'll use a newsletter as the example, but it works on anything you publish, and how to build the same habit for yourself. So before we get into anything, let me just tell you why this actually matters, because there's a lot of noise out there right now about AI replacing people, and most of it just makes this whole thing sound way more complicated or way scarier than it really is. Here's the truth. Every newsletter I send, I screenshot it and hand it to AI before it goes out. It catches things I've read past 5 times, not writing it for me, catching what I missed. Everyone keeps telling people to worry about AI. I think they have it backwards. So here's what I'm going to show you. Why your experience is the multiplier here, not the liability. How it turns AI into a second set of eyes instead of a replacement for your own. And honestly, why the habit matters way more than the tool it does. Now, there's 4 things I want to walk you through. First, what AI is actually good at, and just as important, what it isn't. Second, the exact way your experience changes what it actually catches. Third, what happens when you skip this step and what that actually costs you. And fourth, how you make this a habit instead of just something you do once and forget about. So, number 1, what AI is actually good at. Now, AI doesn't know your industry's unwritten rules. It's not deciding what your newsletter should say, or which client story is worth telling, or what tone fits this specific week. That's still you. That was always going to stay you, no matter how good these tools get. What it's actually good at is smaller than that, and honestly, way more useful than most people expect. A typo you've read past 5 times because your brain just autocorrects it without you even noticing. A number that doesn't match one you wrote 2 paragraphs earlier. A sentence that made perfect sense in your head and reads confusing on the page. A stat you used last month that somehow snuck back in this month too. None of that is judgment, right? All of it is just the stuff that quietly erodes trust in a newsletter, one small mistake at a time. And none of us catch it well in our own writing, because here's the thing, we already know what we meant to say. So our brain just fills in the gap. Number 2, your experience is what decides what it actually looks for. So anyone can ask AI to check this, and most people get a pretty generic pass back. Spelling, grammar, maybe a comma here and there. Fine, forgettable, not really moving the needle. Now, here's what I do differently. I ask it something way more specific, because 20 years of sending these things taught me exactly where the mistakes actually hide. Did I repeat a stat from last month? Does the tone match the last 5 newsletters? Or does this one read a little colder? Would a client misread this line as a promise I didn't actually mean to make? Is there a number in the subject line that doesn't match the number in the body? And those aren't things a beginner would even think to ask for, because a beginner hasn't been burned by any of that yet. I have. So every single one of those questions is basically a scar turned into an instruction. Number 3, what it actually costs you when you skip this. So I didn't always do this, by the way. Early on, I sent out a newsletter with the wrong open house time in it. Small mistake, not dangerous, nothing crazy, but 40 people didn't know it was wrong until they actually showed up at the wrong hour, and I heard about it from every single one of them. And that's the real cost of skipping this step. It's rarely one catastrophic error, right? It's more like a slow leak of trust. One wrong number here, one broken link there, one repeated line, until people just start reading you a little less carefully because you've kind of trained them to expect small mistakes from you. So the screenshot habit isn't really about being perfect. It's about not being the reason someone loses a little bit of confidence in what you send them. And number 4, make it the habit, not the exception. Now, the screenshot thing only actually works because I do it every single time, not just when something feels off, not just on the newsletters I'm least confident about. And that's the part people skip, honestly. And it's the part that actually matters most. One good catch just feels like luck, but a habit of catching things feels like reliability. And reliability is basically the entire product when you're the one putting your name on something that goes out to thousands of people every single week. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Doesn't AI make mistakes too? And yeah, sometimes it'll occasionally flag something that isn't actually wrong or miss something obvious because I didn't ask about it specifically. That's totally fine. It's a second set of eyes here, not the only set of eyes. I still read the whole thing myself before it goes out every time. So the point was never to trust it blindly. The point was to stop relying on my own eyes alone because, and this is the thing, my own eyes are the ones that already believe the newsletter is correct. That's exactly why they miss stuff. So here's what I want you to take away from this. Your experience is not the thing being replaced. It's actually the thing that tells AI what to look for. And that's the whole reason the catch is useful instead of generic. So next time you're about to send something out, just take one extra minute, screenshot it, tell it exactly what you're worried about the way 20 years would tell you to. You're going to be surprised what it catches, and honestly, even more surprised how fast this becomes something you can't imagine skipping. Subscribe if you want to keep turning your experience into leverage.